Hello. Hello, everybody. And welcome to tonight's most interesting stream on the entire platform. Hello, Mr. Jackson Fish. I'm glad that you could make it to the stream today. Um, Today, I'm inspired to explore some popular government conspiracies and look into, like, I don't know, what's up with that, man? Um, Hello, Lexi, and hello, Ronaldo. So we're gonna be going through them. I've got a whole note, like, on my notes app full of these conspiracies. I've been watching videos like all morning at work, um, and um, we're basically gonna Google them together. We're gonna read about them together, and then I'm gonna present what we find on today's stream on another stream with Cole Corneli, esteemed celebrity, and we will both present some conspiracy theories to you guys. I'm very excited to get into this just because, like, I don't know, it's fun to explore, like, the unknown and what's true and what's untrue. I think everybody's always curious by that. I love true crime. I spend a lot of my time watching true crime documentaries and movies and whatnot. And conspiracies kind of just go right along that little pathway with me. They always make for interesting topics of conversation. Um, but I've got a couple just base rules, okay? I'm not going to look into any conspiracies that'll get me banned. So if it all goes down to a one group of people that, you know, the world likes to look at as a scapegoat, I'm out. Okay, I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna look into. Well, that's pretty much that's my only line. Okay, as long as I don't get banned, as long as it's not a racist conspiracy, I'm cool. Okay, I'm gonna explore all of these as if they're true. I'm gonna present them as if we're like building evidence to like present the case as if like this is reality. This is the world that we live in. I don't care how far from reality some of these are. We're just gonna try and make them true, okay? As a collective, all right. It's our goal to solidify these in fact. But you know, those are just the two things that I've thought up in my head as some. You should look into the Wish conspiracies. Oh yes, they're government conspiracies. I'm gonna look into conspiracies about the United States government, and that's my genre. That's the niche today. All right. Now I could look into other conspiracies about Wish and whatnot, but that's more of like theory. You know, that's like more like very provable or disprovable, I feel. Whereas the government is very secretive, so you could say, oh, they were hiding it the whole time. I also love making fun of the U.S. government. So we're going to get started here. Here's my web browser. We're in private mode so that you guys can't see what I've been looking at in my free time, because nobody wants to see that. And I'm gonna just pull up my notes app, and we're gonna figure it out together. Okay, we're gonna figure out the best way to research these. I'm assuming that Google is not the best way, but a quick Google search initially will get us a long way. Okay, so we're gonna. Google recommends using Chrome. Find out where you can watch soccer matches. Let me know if you guys can like see everything on the screen. But it's gonna. We're also gonna start. It's gonna like escalate. Okay, it's gonna get crazier the more it goes down, right? So I literally just looked at like an iceberg video, and then I took notes. I'm like, okay, this is what I want to look at. This is some other things that I want to look at that are maybe unrelated to government conspiracies, and I'm gonna look into more stuff later on. Present, don't count me tardy. You already were counted tardy. I've been live for a whopping 5 minutes and 39 seconds. So we're just gonna get into this. Okay, we're gonna stop messing around. We're gonna look into psyops first. I guess we're gonna put conspiracy at the end of every Google search, and we're gonna compile a document together that I will be presenting in a more entertainable fashion in a future stream. Hopefully, hopefully Wikipedia is not for sale. Shut up. Hopefully, it's very soon. I have plans to do this within the next 7 days. Of course, these dreams among friends don't typically play out exactly as planned, but we'll see. I'll at least be able to present my end of the thing. Cole's the one that got me into this. Oh yes, Moobot should be online. I've got a couple mods in here, and they can take care of that for you guys. Let me know if you start queuing songs. Where's Corn? This is a different stream. This is the preliminary stream. I'm going to be looking at my stuff. He's going to be looking at his stuff, and then we're going to present them together. Have you heard about how all government officials are lizard people who can make themselves look like people? Yes, I have. The lizard theory. Anyway, starting off with some psychological operations. This stuff is pretty, it's pretty surface level. So a lot of these that we're going to start with, like the government has confirmed, like, yeah, we did that. Like, we're going to look at MK Ultra. Everybody knows that MK Ultra was a thing, but the conspiracies lie along the lines of, like, well, they're presenting a truth, maybe not the whole truth. Maybe these things are bigger than they were. Well, we're not just going to be reading Wikipedia articles, okay? Like, even I don't want to sit through that. But we'll get started, and we'll figure out the best way to absorb this information. Is Corm going to stream that as well? I don't know. He didn't say that he planned to. And this is definitely like an improvised stream idea for me. I was initially going to talk about the Game Awards today and that kid who nominated Bill Clinton. But there's the Game Awards are always going to be a thing. Now, psychological operations analysis is not always going to be a thing. This is a fleeting interest for me. So let's see what this is about. Their operations to convey selected information and indicators to audiences to influence their... Yeah, so they're trying to, the U.S. government was trying to, learn how to manipulate people. Oh, shoot. They've got a whole bunch of stuff in here. They've got World War I, II, Cold War, all the way to Bosnia. Controversies. I feel like this whole thing is controversial. So there's a lot that I could be looking at here. We're just going to start with the history of it. Seems to be the most interesting thing. We want to know exactly, what went down. So, during World War I, the propaganda subsection was established under the American Expeditionary Force, which was a military intelligence branch within the Executive Division of General Staff. See, these are already too many words. Just tell me what they did. Let's see. Corps and Army pressed. Okay, so General Pershing is supposed to have personally composed leaflet Y. So this was like a propaganda movement, right? So it started off with just like the American government. It looks like they made a couple leaflets, and then why don't we just watch a video on this? Couldn't that be easier than reading it? So let's go to YouTube. Hopefully I'm not signed in. Oh, I'm not signed in. Cool. PsyOps, conspiracy, and then we can just. Okay, see, I've heard about the vampire psyop. That was crazy. The United States faked a vampire attack in some foreign country to stifle a resistance that was starting up, like a government resistance, and it worked. Let's see. Could you be a psychological operator? I don't know. Maybe I'll look into this on my own time and move on to a more specific conspiracy. Another Wikipedia article. Oh, bro, the National Security Archive just straight up... This is the unclassified document. So Operation Northwoods is interesting. This is another one. This is completely separate from PSYOPs because that was just too much information for me to funnel in. This is one that I was particularly interested in because this is basically an unclassified document talking about how the U.S. was considering faking a domestic terrorist attack on U.S. soil to like justify justification for military intervention in Cuba. So they wanted to fucking like 9/11 us, so that we wanted to go to war against Cuba, and they didn't end up doing that. And I didn't end up like looking into 9/11, which is a whole separate thing. I feel like questioning the government's motives behind that. I should probably go into that a little bit more well-read. That's what we're doing here today. We're going to be reading about these fucking unclassified documents. So, let's see. So these are notes by the secretaries. Whoa. Can you guys read that? I can actually read it better on this other monitor. At their meeting on March 13th, 1962, the Joint Chief of Staff approved the recommendations in paragraph 8. Let's see. Here to indicate brief but precise descriptions is recognized. Suggested course of action appended to enclosure are based on the premise that U.S. military intervention will result from a period of heightened U.S.-Cuban tensions with which placed the United States in the position of suffering justifiable grievances, world opinion, and United Nations. So they were literally trying to like manipulate the whole world into like, this is fine. While the foregoing premise can be utilized at the present time, it will continue to hold good only as long as there can be reasonable certainty that U.S. military intervention in Cuba would not directly involve the Soviet Union. So, yeah, they're like, we can use this now, or we can use this plan later in case, like, we have this discussion. Dalen's tournament has commentators and everything. They lost? They lost already? It's only 5:40. He's only been doing it for an hour. Rest in peace, Dalen's tournament. They don't even, like, say it. It is recommended that I've considered the attached. How long is this document? When can we get to the incriminating sentence? Since it would seem desirable to use legitimate provocation as the base for the U.S. government in intervention in Cuba, a cover and deception plan to include requisite preliminary actions such as has been developed in response, harassment plus deceptive actions to convince the Cubans of imminent invasion would be emphasized. So they wanted to just like raise tensions so high, like artificially, that Cubans like attacked first. So our military posture throughout execution of the plan would allow a rapid change from exercise to intervention if Cuban response justifies. So they were like gonna like goad them on. I'm gonna twitch your spam your no. Thank God, Keaton. I would also immediately delete that message. Especially on this stream where I'm reading unclassified U.S. documents. Who wants to see this? A series of well-coordinated incidents will be planned to take place in and around Guantanamo to give genuine appearance of being done by hostile Cuban forces. Incidents to establish a credible attack, not in a chronological order. So this is what their plan was. They were going to start rumors. I guess they don't want to say, like, they never said which rumors specifically, but they were going to use, like, radio and then land friendly Cubans to land friendly Cubans in uniform over the fence to stage an attack on base. So they were going to use, like, Cuban immigrants, I guess, and then capture Cuban saboteurs. It's like, They were going to attack their own base with fake Cubans and then capture them. And then they were going to have more fake Cubans riot near the main base. Blowing up ammunition, burning aircrafts, lobbing mortar shells from inside from outside the base into the base. Capture assault teams approaching from sea. Capture militia groups. So they were going to have, like, literally a full-scale attack / riot on Guantanamo Bay, made with their... I'm going to read that message in a second. With their friendly Cubans. They're going to sink ships. Look, United States would respond by executing offensive operations to secure water and power supplies, destroying artillery and mortar emplacements which threatened the base. Like, there's no way that the United States were like, hey, let's grab a bunch of Cubans and have them attack and capture them, and then, like, they were just gonna, like, let them go after that. I feel like they were totally just gonna kill all of the Cubans that they had, help them out. See, commence large-scale United States military operations. Like, they wanted an excuse to go to war with Cuba so bad that they were 100%, like, planning an attack on their own military base. A Remember the Maine incident could be arranged in several forms. We could blow up a U.S. ship in Guantanamo Bay and blame Cuba. This looks like they were just some guys hanging around, some like U.S. officials, and one of them was like, I don't know, we could like blow up a ship, I guess. And they were all just like throwing ideas out, like, oh yeah, let's have the Cubans blow up a plane. I want to see that happen. Let's have them lob fucking mortar shells into the base just to see what would happen. Like, they were like obviously gonna have fun with this idea. I'm pretty sure Korn made that list. They're going to capture their own militia groups, sabotage the ships. United States would respond by executing official offensive operations. Yeah, wait, did we already read this? Did I scroll up? I did scroll up. We could blow up a drone, an unmanned vessel anywhere in Cuban waters and arrange it to cause such incident in the vicinity of Havana or Santiago as a spectacular result of Cuban attack from air or sea or both. The presence of Cuban planes or ships merely investigating the intent of the vessel. The very clear moral darkness going on here. They were like, okay, let's sacrifice a couple drones so that we could go mow down the Cubans. We could develop a communist Cuban terror campaign in the Miami area and in other Florida cities and even in Washington. The terror campaign could be pointed at Cuban refugees seeking haven in the United States. We could sink a boatload of Cubans en route to Florida. Yeah, guys, let's go sink a boatload of Cubans, real or simulated. Like, it doesn't even matter if they're actual people. We can foster attempts on lives of Cuban refugees in the United States, even to the extent of wounding in instances to be widely publicized. Exploding a few plastic bombs in carefully chosen spots, the arrest of Cuban agents, and the release of prepared documents substantiating Cuban involvement would also be helpful in projecting the idea of an irresponsible government. I wonder how many documents like this have been made recently. That's exactly why I wanted to look into government conspiracies and unclassified documents, because, like, they could be doing this right now. Like, all right, guys, how are we gonna go to war with Ukraine or with Russia? How are we gonna justify it? Maybe the war in Ukraine is all fake, and the U.S. government. Now, that's a fucked up thing to say. Maybe the war in Ukraine was engineered by the U.S. government to frame the Russians so that we could kill them. Now, that's also a fucked up thing to say. You get my point. And Keaton's point, Schmeaton's point, is that if they did this back then, they could totally do it now. And, because, like, they don't even... the point... You know what I'm saying. A Cuban-based, Castro-supported filibuster could be simulated against a neighboring Caribbean nation in the vein of the 14th of June. Okay, well, that's something that I don't clearly know about. We know that Castro is backing subversive efforts against Haiti, Dominican Republic, Guatemala, and Nicaragua at present, and possible others. These efforts can be magnified and additional ones contrived for exposure. For example, advantage can be taken of the sensitivity of the Dominican Air Force. And like this actually, I feel like kind of ties into the whole PSYOPs thing that that I was initially looking at, where the government was like, okay, how do we manipulate like mass groups of people or even just like specific individuals into doing what they want? And they totally took that research. Like, you can see that they are very obviously trying to manipulate the American populace with this, and use it to their benefit. Like, they just the government is totally evil, man. We know that Castro is backing subversive efforts, blah, 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 blah. Use of MiG-type aircraft by U.S. pilots could provide additional provocation, harassment of civil air attacks on the surface, shipping and destruction of U.S. military drones. So yeah, they were just like, let's blow up our own shit, blame the Cubans, imprison some Cubans, and we are very susceptible in rallying for war. We are but a simple people. 1,000%. Like, it doesn't take a whole lot. And especially, like, they were just going to use, like, Cuban scapegoats. And, like, do you have any idea how much racism this would result as a consequence of this operation? Everybody would fucking hate Cubans now. Like, there was a line up there that was like, terror campaign could be pointed at Cuban refugees. Like, even what we do, and we're looking at unclassified U.S. documents that frame them in an evil light to justify my hatred for the U.S. government. And now I'm talking about how they literally were like, let's get a bunch of Cuban refugees and turn them into terrorists so that we could go to war with Cuba. I don't know. I really feel like it's not even a stretch reading this. Like, you read this and then you look at Iran and Iraq. That's what I was going to say. Like, you look at 9/11 and they're like, all right, let's get a bunch of terrorists. Let's get a bunch of random Iranian people and have them just run a plane into our building. And then we go to war with them. And that's literally what happened. Even though it's a war over oil. Warren Commission. I will read that. I will read that in just a moment. They were trained to fly at Max Westheimer. They were. I read that. Like, that's like... that's like something I learned in school. I think one of my teachers told me that. They were like, by the way, we trained those people in America. And if I'm not mistaken... I'm going to look that up. I'm going to see where that is. Ms. Rice, clutch up. You're probably right. Yeah, that's at OU. Like, in Oklahoma, we trained the people that did 9/11. Which is just not a coincidence, man. It's not a coincidence. So let's look at what else they were plotting to do. Hijacking attempts against civil air and surface air should appear to continue as harassing measures condoned by the government of Cuba. It's possible to create an incident which will demonstrate convincingly that a Cuban aircraft has attacked and shot down a chartered civil airliner en route from the United States to Jamaica. A civil airliner being like a Boeing 77. Like this entire time I thought that was Ryan Mann and not Ryan Stanley. No, it's Ryan Stanley the man. Yeah, that sounds like an awful lot. Like they were like, let's just shoot down like a flight of civilians. Like they were obviously gonna like create an incident to demonstrate convincingly. But that's pretty sus. That is pretty sus. Now obviously a lot of like innocent people died in the 2001 attacks on the Twin Towers. So I wonder how they justified that, or at least like what was that in their document? That's what I want to know. Like, were they like, yeah, fuck those people, let's write it down and just like cover it up, which they were gonna throw the Cubans under the bus. So, you know, human life clearly doesn't mean very much to them. I mean, like even if they themselves didn't kill Cubans, as like whenever they were hypothetically raiding their own base, even if they just picked the Cubans up that were raiding their own base and placed them elsewhere, like back in Cuba, like Americans would finish the job. Any Cuban immigrant would like when was this? When was the Cuban Missile Crisis? I don't even know. Homelander them bitches. I'm glad that one of us is caught up on fucking 1962. Bro, they were killing brown people left and right in the 60s. They totally would have just killed the Cubans. The destination would be chosen only to cause the flight plan route across Cuba. The passengers could be a group of college students off on a holiday or any grouping of persons with a common interest to support chartering a non-scheduled flight. I'm also really hyped for season 4 of The Boys. The Boys is fucking sick. Takeoff times of the drone aircraft and the actual aircraft will be scheduled to allow rendezvous south of Florida. From the rendezvous point, the passenger-carrying aircraft will descend to minimum altitude and then go directly into an auxiliary field where arrangements will have been made to evacuate the passengers and return the aircraft to its original status. The drone aircraft, meanwhile, will continue to fly the original flight plan, and when over Cuba, the drone will be transmitting. Okay, I'm just gonna assume that's a typo. The drone will be transmitting on the international distress frequency a Mayday message stating that it is under attack. The transmission will be interrupted by the destruction of the aircraft, which will be triggered by a radio signal. This will allow ICO radio stations in the Western Hemisphere to tell the U.S. what has happened to the aircraft instead of the U.S. trying to sell the incident. That's low-key genius. Like, they're like, okay, let's just drop off these guys and then fly the plane over, and then boom, it blows up, and we don't even have to like run the narrative ourselves. Somebody else will pick it up because it's a passenger aircraft full of college kids or Christians, devout Christians, to, you know, make the Christians in America mad, or the college lovers in America mad. It is possible to create an incident which will make it appear that communist Cuban MiGs have destroyed a U.S. Air Force aircraft over international waters in an unprovoked attack. That's, like, more realistic, but I can see, like, they're like, okay, but let's tug at the heartstrings by killing off some college kids. The joints... Okay, so are these, like, their thoughts about all of these, like, maniacal plans that, like, I myself could come up with, and nobody should trust me in, like, a government official job? The Joint Chiefs of Staff have previously stated that U.S. unilateral military intervention in Cuba can be undertaken in the event that the Cuban regime commits hostile acts against U.S. forces or property. Again, this will be substantially more entertaining when I present these facts myself. This is the research stream, okay? You guys are here to watch me scroll through a white wall of text. It's understood that the Department of State also is preparing suggested course of actions to develop so even the Department of State, is that like a separate document? Is that like DLC that they could add to the document? That's crazy. Wow. That's interesting. There's even like more here for me to read about like specifics and their plans and stuff. But I didn't know. I never knew that. New government DLC drop. That's what I'm saying. Did you guys know that the government was gonna fly a fake plane from Florida to Cuba and then drop them off in Florida and then fly and then pew, from there and then like, I didn't know that. When did they declassify this? That is also an important thing to know. Because like contextually, like speaking, now they have to like keep in mind that that's a declassified document, so they'd have to like change their plans. Well, that's when it started, but I want to know when it was declassified. 35 years later, this was the 35 plus 62 is 97. That's 5 years before 9/11. That's all I'm saying. They could totally have escalated that. They were like, okay, we dropped the Operation Northwoods files, but now we gotta do this to Iran. But we gotta make it more convincing. So let's kill a bunch of innocent people. That's all I'm saying. Okay, next up on our docket of things to talk about would have been MK Ultra. But I have a hunch that MK Ultra is like, you know, like we all know that it's a real thing. But I want to know like the conspiracy side. Oh yeah, this is a funny one. Whenever at my first job, this is an aside, but at my first job, my general manager was a huge conspiracy theorist, like fangirl. She was like a lonely 45-year-old woman whose husband had very recently passed, and my way of getting out of work was asking her like, what do you think about X political thing that was going on at the time? Like, what do you think about Donald Trump saying that he was going to build a wall against Mexico? And like, she was also racist and like a Trump supporter. Like, she was just that woman, you know, like she was terrible. But I could just like get her to go on and on for hours about how owls were alien fucking watchers sent to like record human behavior, and how like the moon was gonna explode on January 3rd, 2018, and it didn't. Sometimes she'd come to work and she'd be like, there's some crazy shit going on Mars. Anyway, she would always show me videos of like celebrities very obviously just being high in public, like while being interviewed, and would be like, look, they're under mind control. You can see Kanye West resetting. In my humble opinion, that's bullshit. I feel like they were just high on something, man. Like they were just maybe like having a mild episode because they were having cameras flash in their face and microphones thrown at them, and they were already like overstimulated due to how high they were. Like I would also look like I had a reset. Anyway, we'll read this Wired article. The celebrity chip theory. Yeah, see like Cardi B staring into space. Like, yeah, see like this article also thinks it's bullshit. I don't want to look at it. But I'll look at history.com's article on it because that's got to be more entertaining than like a Wikipedia article. So it's a top secret CIA project. I wonder if we can see their documents actually. MK Ultra documents. Because that's cool. I liked looking at the documents last time. Yeah, look at this. Um, Committee on Human Resources, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. This is way bigger than Operation Northwoods. Let's see. Testing and using of chemical biological agents by the intelligence community on page 65. Or we could look at documents referring to the discovery of additional MKUltra material on page 103. Wow. Material submitted for record. So psychological assessments. Yeah, this is probably what I want to look at, actually. I want to see, like, pretty much what their outcome was. Truth drugs and interrogation. Construction of something that I don't know about. Drug testing in foreign countries. They did this on people, right? Not like monkeys. Anyway, can we go to page 17 is the psychological assessment page. We'll start with that. We'll see what they thought. They get a chip that keeps them under control, and the chip shorts out. They act out like Britney Spears and Miley Cyrus. Oh, if the chip shorts out? Yeah, as Elon Musk is currently, like, putting chips in monkeys and trying to figure that shit out. Like, there's, like, that's... Anyway, page 17. Is this not the psychological analysis page? I was hoping for, like, a big, bold headline saying psychological analysis. Okay, let's just start from this paragraph. Let me ask you specifically on the follow-up of MKUltra, are there now, I think you have answered, but I want, oh, this is like an interview. I want to get a complete answer about any experimentations that are being done on human beings, whether it is drugs, behavioral alterations, or patterns. So this guy's like, no, we're done with that. Okay. And then he's like, are you contracted out? And he's like, oh my god, does he not answer the question? He's like, all right, how about the non-drug experimentation on our committee has seen psychosurgery, for example. Oh, no, he's like, no. Oh, so this is Senator Kennedy. It's just like the Kennedy. This is like a hearing that we're reading right now. We're continually involved in what we call assessment of behavior. So they want to, yeah, okay. And then I'm assuming this guy is under oath. Oh no, the material on psychological assessment follows. Let's go. I didn't want to read the thing. So majority of work is done by staff. The other psychological assessments involve handwriting analysis or graphological assessment. The work is done. It is important to reiterate that the psychological assessments are only a service to the operations officers. In the final analysis, it is the responsibility of the operations officers to decide how a potential agent should be approached. I wonder if they're going to touch on LSD specifically. Because didn't they just get a bunch of people high? I would do that. If the government was like, hey, I got this new drug, do you want to try it out? For sure. The kind of thing we are interested in. Oh, no, I don't like this. This is a discussion. I want, like, a candid, like, heartless, not being interviewed, here are my thoughts on the matter. This is probably why there are more articles about it than like the link just popping up. That sucks. We're going up. We're going back up to the contents page because I don't want to deal with all of this. This is what I was saying. LSD all day, every day, weeks at a time. I saw a conspiracy theory a long time ago that the reason the U.S. hadn't made stricter gun laws and why mass shootings happen all the time is because they're using it as a population as a form of population control. There are a ton of population control, like, conspiracy theories. And that's, like, interesting to me, I think. Like, I think that's totally feasible that the government is like, okay, like, there are too many people. How are we going to do this? I feel like basically allowing like mass shootings isn't the most efficient way of population control, because they're really only like, how many people would die a year of a mass shooting? How many people a year die from guns? From pewresearch.org. I don't know how credible this is. Oh, look at this. 54% suicide. Yeah, I'd kill myself with a gun. But I want like a number of people that die. 54%. Okay. Yeah, 19,384 people were killed by a gun in 2020. Which seems like 2020 was a contentious year, but that was also COVID year, so maybe less people were dying. What share of all murders and suicide in the U.S. Involves a gun? Okay, well, yeah. How has the number of U.S. gun deaths changed over time? Oh no, 2020 was like the biggest year for gun deaths. My point is that it's an ineffective way of like trimming the population. Like, if only like 20,000 people a year are dying because of their getting shot by another gun, because like these people that are going to kill themselves, they're going to kill themselves regardless of whether or not guns are legal. There's so many other ways to kill yourself than shooting yourself versus like murdering a person. Like, you have to get a little bit more creative. Like, you have to be like kind of a sick fuck to kill somebody without a gun. I mean, killing somebody with a gun is also like fucked up, but like to stab somebody like 80 times versus just like shooting them in the head once and then being done with it. There's a very clear difference in like sick fuckery going on. You know what I mean? I don't think it's a form of population control. XXX Drake conspiracy now. I saw that one. Drake killed X. SMS triple X. It's the only time I shoot below the neck. Is that a song, Dalen? Is that a song from a... Is that a bar from a song? Listen, I'm only looking at government conspiracies. We're moving on from MK Ultra. That one was boring. At least, like, I will read it, but I won't read it in front of people. But there is one thing that I want to look at. Drake bar. Yeah, there are so many more interesting bars to be quoting and reading than Drake bars, so thank you for that. HAARP, which is like supposed to be this like weather control device. High frequency active auroral research program. So this one is like, apparently there's a device in Alaska that can control the weather. In my opinion, if I was a government official and I wanted population control, I'd fuck with weather. That's very random. It's a force of nature, right? Like, we all recognize that as like something that cannot be controlled and also just kills pretty indiscriminately and kills in large numbers. So, you know, anyway. Weather control. See, like, I'm not finding what I need to find on the first page of Google, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, but we are already fucking with nature on accident. Yeah, and it's a really effective way of killing people. these are YouTube. No, all weather is not artificially controlled. See, again, we're looking to prove these as fact. We're not going to politifact.com, which is already openly saying. I want to know the evidence, basically. If I can find somebody quoting the evidence, then I can, like, look into the evidence myself. That was what I was going to do on today's stream, was, like, well, okay, maybe we go to this, and then they'll say, like, why they think that. So, AAP.com. I also feel like there's totally, like... You guys remember in Naruto, when Sasuke shoots his fireball jutsu into the sky and conjures Kirin because fire in sky equals storm cloud equals lightning, and then he just uses like a tiny bit of chakra to hone that lightning and then kill Itachi with it. That's not like super far off, you know, like why don't we just shoot big old balls of fire into the sky, which we can do to make storms. Okay, so this guy says a Facebook post claims, so they're gonna cite a Facebook post. Is that the origin of this conspiracy theory? Let's see. Our concern. Okay, see, like, no, I don't want evidence proving that it's not real. Show me the evidence that they use to prove that it is real. Because, like, the whole point of the conspiracy is that it's not actually doing what it's saying it's doing. Pain. There's one about how the U.S. helped Hitler escape Germany and he never really died, and he lives in the Gulf of Mexico. And you can tell because there are Nazis on different islands. Look, it's another PDF document. Yeah, I've heard that one too. My general manager really informed me on how Hitler lived World War II. Didn't we, like, not find his body? That's something that I could see happening. Was Hitler, like, escaping, you know? I don't want to read this either. Okay, moving on. Don't worry, I have like 30 conspiracies to look at, and we're already like an hour in, and I've only looked at 3, so I'm not... Like, we can just boom, boom, boom these. Operation Bluebeam. This is an interesting one. This is one that Cole told me about. And I'm also finding that Google is not... Look at this. The first result is false. Of course it would be. In the mind of a conspiracy theorist. Well, Hitler supposedly committed suicide while his house was on fire, so there was a body, but it could not confirm to be him. See, that's just way too convenient. Ever see a movie, man? If there's no body, they're not actually dead. It's gonna get retconned later. If they're killed off screen, they're not dead. If you can't find the body, they're not dead. And if I was Hitler and my house was on fire, I would simply, using my Hitler powers, go through a secret passageway and pop out a couple miles away while leaving a fake body behind. Easy. It's easy. Also, Hitler had hundreds of body doubles for a possible assassination. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, if this guy already had a shit ton of body doubles, then they, like, 100% could have covered that up. I'm a firm believer in the Hitler escape theory. I have also found myself to be a firm believer of the Hitler escape theory. Let's look into this a little bit. Granted, it doesn't matter now. Yeah, like, he's already long dead, and he clearly, like, never had, like the run back that he could, like, he potentially, like, could have had. It's like, it's fun to talk about how he probably didn't die in that moment and then just died later on in Argentina by himself. Maybe he, I don't know. We gotta find, like, a subreddit, you know? Like, we gotta find a subreddit about these conspiracies. Because Google is not giving us any answers. Kira-style death. Kira-style death. Conspiracy. Yeah, look, r/conspiracy. It's got 2 million members. Okay, and we're gonna look through the r/conspiracy subreddit. We're gonna filter it from the top ones of all time. And then, hypothetically speaking, I wish that there's a government conspiracy. Hold on. Government. Oh, I can search for government in r/conspiracy. And then I can do top of all time. This guy's talking about the Epstein files. Wow, interesting. Nixon was impeached for lying about burglary. Hillary has rigged an election and will likely be president. Oh, we're reading this. There's no way that we're not supposed to read this. It is hard to think of a more significant example of how corrupt the U.S. government has become. You're so right. She really rigged that election successfully. We can fully, like, is there evidence? Oh, is it this? No, that's just a picture. He never goes into detail. The average empire lasts 250 years. It is time. Yeah. I think we're... Yeah. Okay. That was lame. I expected more. Stephen Ruth single-handedly taking on a corrupt government. Government piracy secrets. COVID-19. 100 confirmed conspiracies. When you can get arrested and thrown in jail for... Yeah. Hillary shills and Trump bots need to get the fuck off this sub. They've taken over like crazy. That's funny. Reddit is not the spot. We've got a whole lot of Hillary Clinton news. CIA torture report reaches number 4 on front page, gets deleted, swaps places with blah 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 blah. TIL? What does TIL stand for? I read one of the reasons we don't have universal health care is a way to weed out poor people from the U.S. population, and then they all get sick and die. That's like an interesting method of population control. It's definitely effective. Oh, today I learned. Thank you, Lexi. I can look at this, right? We can look at how the CIA tortured people, right? On stream. That's fine. That article is incredibly shit, only marginally related, but as soon as I read the title, I remember that North Korea has an awesome human rights record, according to a study done by North Korea. Where will this take me? To the report? Sucks. Alright, we're not going off path ever again. These are hard to find. That's the point, though. That's why I went off path in the first place, is because it's actually really hard to find this shit on Google. What search engine do you guys think Dale Gribble uses? What if we Google how... best place to research conspiracies being Firefox. The dark web research engine, like DuckDuckGo. Is that a real thing? Selected conspiracy websites, news groups, and blogs. Okay, conspiracyplanet.com. Thanks for all the recommendations. Did you do r/conspiracy? I did. I did my dark web dive back in the day. I haven't. And I wonder if you can, I mean, I'm sure that you can access Tor on a Mac. One conspiracy theory that I saw was that Tor owns the dark web, the government owns Tor, which is turned out to be true. How to download Tor Mac. It's 2 minutes and 26 long. 2 minutes and 26 seconds. Oh, we couldn't find the dude. They kicked me off of Conspiracy Planet. I don't want to get killed by someone on there. Government did make the dark web, yeah, to like monitor criminals and monitor their transactions by giving them a false sense of security, which is pretty smart. Yeah, Lexi, going to the dark web does not mean that we're gonna get killed. Skeptic's Dictionary. We can access this website. So let's just look up Operation Bluebeam again and see what we can find here. Yeah, I don't care. Damn it! Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. Well, we're downloading Tor. Bye. I'll see you later.
What is up, guys? TechLore here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to download and set up Tor browser for your Mac.
Does he have a link in the description? Because I'm not stupid.
Let's get right into it.
I can't look at the description. I didn't open the... This was 6 years ago. This is probably dated. But I bet if I go to this Tor download page, download for Mac, Tor speedrun. So much bad shit does come from the dark web, even with them owning it. Yeah, but like, that part of humanity didn't really come from the dark web. I feel like it was accentuated by it and like allowed to thrive, but under moderation. It's like people are gonna do what people are gonna do, you know what I mean? Like, you might as well give yourself the window into it, even if it provides others the platform to do their weird shit. Okay, cool. We got Tor, and I have to go all the way to my second monitor. Don't let them access all your info. I have a deep, overwhelming fear of the dark web. Bro. It's not how it works. I do know how computers work. Okay, Tor browser routes your traffic over Tor. Run by... Should I just get a VPN first? Bridges help you access the Tor network in places. Well, Tor is not blocked. I guess I can just click always connect automatically. Oh wait, I can just hit this connect button right here. Cool. I don't think that my follower meter is correct, for the record. Okay, Keaton, what was that website? Oh, well, okay. Let's look up. No, this is like the same as Google. It's just touring. Still, Operation Bluebeam. This is a cool one, if we can just find it. Maybe it doesn't count mods. That might be accurate. So we did get new results here. Well, they actually... What if we just search the guy? Serge Munoz. And then it'll show me... We're gonna turn safe search off. Lose dude. Whatever. Let's look at this article. This will help us. 4 mods and 37 followers. Ah, I think you're right. I think you're right. According to Serge Monost, a 4-step project designed by NASA in the United States would allow these organizations to accomplish what he believed to be their ultimate goal in creating a new age religion led by the Antichrist in order to start a new world order dictatorship. So this is fucking crazy, dude. This is so sick. NASA would implement Project Bluebeam with a system of advanced mind control as well as top secret technology in order to trick everyone into believing that they'd seen a second coming of Christ. So, little tiny, like, holograms in the sky and shit to manipulate the populace, which, technologically speaking, is not far out there. But first, step 1 of Project Bluebeam would involve the manufacture of the artificially created earthquakes in strategic locations around the world. These earthquakes would, according to the conspirators' hoaxes, unearth artifacts indicating that the religious doctrines of all nations have been misunderstood for centuries, thus discrediting all religions. So he's like, earthquakes around the world, let's nerf all religions. They're all wrong. Movies like 2001: A Space Odyssey had already laid the psychological groundwork for this step by presenting stories in which mysterious unearthed objects upend everything humans know about the world. Only a Morty would put time into conspiracy theories. Did Scott tell you to say that? Did he, like, pay you to say that? I'm not Morty. If anything, Rick would know that all of these are true. The second step would involve a gigantic space show. So this is the coolest part, I think. 3-dimensional optical holograms as well as laser projections of holographic images would beam across the sky, including projections of Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Krishna, etc. And they're all just gonna merge into one dude, like fucking Power Rangers in the sky. I've just been watching Rick and Morty again. I love Rick and Morty. Monost explained that the technology behind this display... he explained the technology behind this display, saying that the conspirators would use space-based laser-generating satellites to project simultaneous images to the 4 corners of the planet in every language and dialect according to the region. As the whole sky is transformed into one massive movie screen, this new god would speak to everyone in their own language. Again, with government funding and, like, crazy shit like that, like, an infinite amount of money, New World Order decides to, like, do this shit, they totally could. Like, there's literally nothing stopping them at this point. You could fly a bunch of drones around, you could use mirrors, you could use lasers, you could use LCD displays and line them all up, and you could just create this little cone around the earth of, like, mirrors and shit. And those that, like, fall for it, like, you could totally catch the masses with that. And then there will always be skeptics, of course. Like, the smart people who are like, bro, that's just a drone. Like, one of them malfunctioned by my house and fell down. Everybody's gonna be like, no, dude, you're wrong. I just saw Jesus. He spoke to me. That's, like, so powerful. I could totally... I I think this could work. I mean, like, this might play into my personal world domination plan. So the third step is where mind control would take center stage. So this is, like, less possible. Telephonic communication devices would send waves to reach each person within their own minds, convincing them that their own God is speaking to them from the very depths of their own soul. So just, like, amplifying their belief in what's going on. Which, this specific technology, like, no. But any drug, dude, any fucking drug would have this effect. Even if I was stoned. If I was stoned and I stepped outside and I saw a bunch of holograms just in the sky showing me Jesus, like, I'm like hardcore atheist. Everybody watching this stream knows that I don't believe in God for shit. But if I saw him up there and he was like, Rocco, or not even if he was just like, Earth, I have a message for you. After like some earthquakes and shit that go on, and like I'm down. I'm here for it. I believe it 1,000%. Okay, and I like to think of myself as a pretty smart guy, but all you have to do is like get the planet high on some toxin through gas that like maybe like a mild hallucinogen or like just something to overstimulate them, and then get all these little drones up there, and you don't even need like literally like a quadrillion drones like around. You can just like strategically place them and they'll be all right. You need to get them far enough that nobody like hears them and nobody can shoot them, and then you need like enough of them to show like a grand new sky, but like you don't need to cover the entire sky, if that makes sense. How would these rays be able to reach inner people's minds? So let's see. Rays from satellites are fed from the memories of computers that have stored massive data about every human on Earth and their languages. The rays will then interlace with their natural thinking to form what we call diffuse artificial thought. That doesn't explain the technology at all. But okay. Finally, the fourth step of Project Bluebeam would make use of various technologies in order to convince people that alien invasions and the rapture itself were taking place, thus making it easier for the powers that be to take control of a fear-addled populace. So this is like Independence Day shit, I guess. Like, let's fake an alien invasion so that the world government can come together and like fight this force off. The NASA Bluebeam project is the prime directive for the New World Order's absolute control over the populations of the entire Earth. I would suggest you investigate this information carefully before dismissing it as fanatic lunacy. Yeah. This is, I don't know, I think that this is like a feasible, like it doesn't even have to be a New World Order thing. If Kevin Stitt, the governor of Oklahoma, just threw a bunch of drones in the sky and had them say some shit to some people, they'd believe him. 100%. And if they needed to, like, develop more specifics on this plan and, like, see what people believe and don't believe, then they're only helping themselves out with the internet and, like, the wide-scale popularity of artificial intelligence, personalized like data like from TikTok and Facebook and Google and shit. Like, they can see what the government can see what everybody's thinking and what they're saying. It's like all you have to do is look at all that data and compile it all into all these blah 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 blahs, and then all the people and like and then you can see like, okay, people will believe this image over this artificially created image over this other one because of this small change, and then you tweak it and you tweak it and you tweak it, and then you can, generally speaking, like cross that barrier and then create God, you know? And God is so fucking ambiguous, and like he's not just some dude, you know? Like, God could be anything. God could be a star, you know? You can just show a big beam of light talking in a bunch of languages and saying shit like, the aliens are coming. It doesn't even have to be aliens. They could use, like, so many other things to unify the planet and like, make an excuse. It is so cold in this garage. So let's see about how he died, how this guy died, because I fuck with this guy. Okay, this guy's a genius. Like, this guy put this shit together before me, which means that he's very smart. Aside from the main thrust of Project Bluebeam, other elements of this theory remain noteworthy, especially for conspiracy theorists. For instance, one component includes the phasing out of cash. We're seeing that. It doesn't have to be a conspiracy. That's, you know, it's something that's happening. Manas said the plan would be executed after a financial crisis. Guys, the world is heading into this, okay? We're going through a financial global crisis right now. Not a complete crash, he said, but enough to allow them to introduce some kind of in-between currency before they introduce their electronic cash to replace all paper or plastic money. This guy says cryptocurrencies. Yeah, I don't really think that is, like, super far-fetched either. I actually think that, like, an in-between digital currency is, like, conspiracy or not, like, a very feasible thing, like, totally something that the government should make. And they could present it as, like, an aid, basically. They could present it as something that, to, like, help the poor populace. You know, like, oh, you guys are a little short on cash? Well, how about some USA bucks? Download them now. Anyway, then there's the disputed story of this guy's death. Details about any facet of his life are both scarce and disputed. It's been reported that he died of a heart attack without having any previous heart problems, and that one of the methods of killing supposedly used by Project Bluebeam was artificially created heart attacks. Whoever said the cure of death from Death Note, that was this. Sure. There's also the claim that the night before his death, his children who were homeschooled were abducted and placed in a state school before he was arrested. He spent the night in jail, and his children weren't heard from again. Some claim. Okay, if you believe that, and if you believe any of this theory at all, then the final line of this guy's manifesto, Project Bluebeam manifesto, will ring true. Nobody is safe in a totalitarian police state. We are already living in a totalitarian police state. They've just made it more comfortable for us to live in. This guy's a genius. Okay? This is an amazing article. I love this article. And I wouldn't have found it if I didn't download Tor. That's what I was looking for, man. Can we do this again with another theory? What about Operation Fishbowl? I don't know what that is. I forgot what that was. Something about people. I don't know what rumble.com is, but it seems shady, so I'm here for it. Oh, you watch this video? The Simpsons movie? Let's watch this. Let's watch this. Allow me to pause my stream music. And then we're gonna watch this short 2-minute video together. Operation. Oh, yeah. What is the deal? That's funny.
Look through telescopes. We've seen our so-called neighbors, Venus and Mars, through telescopes.
Is it lagging? Is it buffering?
What is the deal? You know, we've looked through telescopes. We've seen our so-called neighbors, Venus and Mars, through telescopes. Our assumption is the solar system is, you know, set up in the Copernican model, and but yet maybe
Who's
they
this
found a
guy?
dome and they started to question all that. So the first thing they do is send out probes to go, wait a minute, what in the world? If we're in a dome,
the Earth?
how high does this thing go? So they start launching high altitude nuclear
Oh,
bombs.
no. Okay. I remember what this is about. Allegedly, this is a true thing that they did. What about this? Yeah, this is like a real thing. Yeah. This I just thought was kind of funny. So this was a series of high-altitude nuclear tests in 1962 that were carried out by the United States as part of a larger operation test program. So they literally, from what I understand, from what I watched in this guy's video, and I would love to look into more of the consequences of this than like the story itself. The government was just like, hey, what would happen if we just shot some nukes right up? What if we just shot them straight up? And so they just shot nukes into the atmosphere. And fucking yeah, I guess this is an explosion. And the reason it's called Operation Fishbowl is because I guess whenever these nukes exploded, they exploded into like in a spherical fashion. So let's look at their first attempts. According to the initial plan of Operation Fishbowl, the nuclear tests were to be bluegill, starfish, and urraca in that order. If the tests were to fail, the next attempt of the same test would be the same name plus the word prime. So yeah, if bluegill fails, the next one is bluegill prime, and if bluegill prime failed, double prime. Cool, understood. The first planned test of Operation Fishbowl was June 2nd, 1962, when a nuclear warhead was launched from Johnston Island on a Thor missile. Sure, so they lost track of it because there was too much shit going on in the area. There is no way to predict if the missile was on a safe trajectory, so the range safety officers ordered the missile with its warhead to be destroyed. Okay, so no nuclear detonation occurred and no data was obtained. But subsequent investigation found that it was actually following the proper Amazon Prime? Yeah. Okay, so they launched one and they were like, wait, fuck, we can't track this thing. Shoot it down. So they destroyed it. That's funny. At least they destroyed it before it blew up. So the second planned test was 2 weeks later, just about, and same Thor missile with a nuclear warhead, and it flew for a normal trajectory for 60 seconds, then it stopped, and the missile began to break apart. So they were literally just like testing nuclear warheads, which is chill, like you should do that. And yeah, it started to break, so they were like, destroy it. So they destroyed it. Some of the missile parts fell onto the island, and the debris fell into the ocean. And they had to go and collect the pieces. That sounds like a shitty 2 weeks, man. Some of it was contaminated with plutonium. Okay, yeah, sure. Please go get that. Starfish Prime. Okay, so there's a lot going on here. Okay, cool. So it actually reached a maximum height of 1,100 kilometers, which is just over 680 miles, which is far up there. And the warhead was detonated on its downward trajectory when it had fallen to the programmed altitude of 400 kilometers. So they like shot it, and then it like, and then they were like, all right, let's blow it up on the come down. So it caused an EMP, which was way bigger than they thought. So it drove much of the instrumentation off scale, causing a great difficulty in getting accurate measurements. Of course, they fuck it up again. And oh shit, it literally caused it like fucked up Hawaii's electrical grid 900 miles away from the detonation point. knocking out 300 streetlights and setting off numerous burglar alarms. So these people in Hawaii, poor Hawaii, man, why are they always getting dicked on by nukes? They're just chilling one day, and all of a sudden, like, half the country or half the state's lights go out, and all of their burglar alarms go off, and then the government's like, sorry guys, we wanted to see how far up we could shoot the nukes. Wow, so they shot, I don't know what a sounding rocket is, but they shot 27 of them. Bluegill Prime. So they attempted bluegill. Oh, this one ended in disaster. Ooh, when the missile guy suffered a stuck valve preventing blah 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 blah. The engine lost thrust, and some fluid spilled into the hot thrust chamber, and it blew up, and there was a fire on the missile, and so the missile was covered in flames. It was a nuke covered in flames, which actually goes hard as shit. And they were like, okay, fucking blow it up. So they split it, and it ruptured the fuel tanks, which destroyed the missile and badly damaged the launch pad. The warhead charges also exploded symmetrically and sprayed the area with moderately radioactive core materials. It sounds like a disaster. Yeah, they were like, okay, let's chill after that. Let's not do that. But then they pick it up later. 3 months later, after a time skip. Bluegill Triple Prime. Jesus Christ, they did this a lot. So they just kept shooting nukes up, man. The government was just like, okay, let's shoot nukes up into the atmosphere. And this is like apparently a couple years after some nuclear researcher dude was like, hey, what if nukes punch holes in the atmosphere? And then the government was like, oh yeah, let's try that. That's funny. On to the next one. There's so much for me to like read outside of stream, but I like getting like the gist. Oh, the Denver airport. Okay, guys. The Denver airport. It's a real place. And I'm sure that everybody's heard of it. I feel like this is a really popular conspiracy theory. I've heard it like 3 different times on like 3 different YouTube channels, just like going around. Basically, the Denver airport is fucking weird. It's like its layout is all fucky, apparently. I don't know. I'll just look up Denver airport conspiracy, and then they'll take it off of my hands, and I can just read you guys the article. Oh, I turned off my music a long time ago. That's why this feels so awkward and uncomfortable for me. Because there's nothing else to listen. Whoa, whoa. I can pop out windows into. Okay, guys, hold up. Just learned a new stream thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to let it be so loud. I picked anyway, whatever. Allthat'sinteresting.com. Show us the news. This is really weird. I don't know if you guys, again, I don't know if you've heard of this. That song is so Stranger Things-esque. Yeah, I picked the synthwave channel on my little Twitch extension thing. Okay, so yeah, this thing went super over budget, and it was a year behind schedule. So some people think that this was like a New World Order hiding spot, like under the Denver airport. There's like a city or like some bunkers for people to chill out in, and I think that that's like public information, is that the airport was supposed to go pretty deep underground, and then they ended up like scrapping that. But the conspiracy theory is that they didn't actually scrap it, they just said that they did. So the unusual artistic choices and series of tunnels beneath the airport added fuel to conspiracy theorists' fire, from stone slab bearing the Freemason symbol to the runways that look like a swastika at the Denver airport. Yeah, I was looking at the Denver airport on Google just now, and I was like, hey, that kind of looks like a swastika. If it'll pop up. See? Check it out. Everybody open your Twitch tab right now. Not right now, it's loading. That is a fucking swastika. Almost. It's a 3-legged swastika. Yo, look at the murals. Yeah, I know that there's like the blue horse. The horse like fucking killed the artist. Its head fell off and crushed the guy who made it. And they were like, well, let's clean this up and still fucking put it up here. Freemason is something that I meant to look up because that's apparently like a really common, I guess it's like a real, I don't fucking know what a Freemason is, but apparently people think that that's like the New World Order. So let's see. The conspiracy theories began when the building's located budget and prolonged construction. So it's oh my god, it has an area of 53 square miles. I don't know how big airports are, but they didn't feel that big. There's a dude in a gas mask leading children just drawn on the wall in the airport. I have friends whose dads are in the Masons. They can't tell us anything. Is that true? No fucking way. And yeah, like the art murals are also supposed to be really fucking crazy. I know I've been to the Denver airport. Like I know I've been there on a layover, but I didn't know that. Like I didn't know to look back then. I think I was like 13 or something. Yeah, for real, that's not a joke. What is a Freemason? Why is it so secretive? What the fuck? Okay, we're gonna look into this later. We're gonna look into this right after I'm done with the Denver airport, because apparently Schmieden has a real life connection to a Freemason child. It's the nation's first fraternity. Are you fucking serious? That's so anticlimactic. It's a frat, but not in a college way. Okay, cool. I don't know what a fraternity would be outside of the context of college. You'll tell me in a second. Let's see. Yeah, so they got an apocalyptic mural. Well, it's just a brotherhood. It's just a bunch of homies. It's literally a secret organization. Hidden brotherhood trying to make rules. Yeah, it seems like, yeah, it's just like a secret organization with like, not even like secret, just like world power shit. I can see that. Among the areas, the airport's 40-piece collection of public artwork is a 28-foot wide mural by artist Leo Tanguma called Children of the World Dream of Peace. Is this what you were talking about, Ryan? Holy actual fucking shit. That's not something that you can just throw at an airport. George Washington was a Freemason? That's crazy. Yeah, dude, like this, so some believe the sword in this mural represents the Masonic cult known as the Shriners. Artist Leo whatever claims the painting symbolizes all the nations of the world coming together in the wake of a grand catastrophe. I don't really see that. I don't really see that in this mural. I don't really think that, I don't know. I think that he like, I don't see that message in this. I definitely just see a guy waving a sword around some kids. But even still, why would you put that in an airport? Like, that's a really sick piece of art, you know? Like, I would get this guy tattooed on me. Why in an airport? So, conspiracy theories have suggested that the sword symbolizes the Masonic Shriners' international cult logo. Okay, well, let's look that up. Masonic Shriners logo? On DuckDuckGo? Oh, yeah. That's the same fucking sword. Hold up. Yeah, dude, that's literally the same kind of sword. Also, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't ever see this sword used in like a military gun context. I see it in like Indiana Jones. So the Masons I know are the Masonic Lodge. It's a different logo. So there are different branches of Freemasons. That makes sense. Why there would, yeah. You've got like, I've seen, yeah, this is what came up whenever I Googled Freemason. See? So is this like the most popular branch? Are there like, kind of like Christianity? Their logo is like a protractor. Yeah. It definitely seems like it's like Christianity in the sense that it's got all these little branching paths. I guess every religion is like that. Every organization is like that. Also, waiting for that also before I go back to this article. Even though I get delayed on chat anyway. A Wobbuffet just used counter and killed my fur alligator. No! That is so not fucking fair, dude. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm not excited to continue my randomizer Nuzlocke tomorrow because I've done absolutely no grinding. That dude was carrying me. Yeah, you've lost your butt plug and your fur alligator. I'm really sorry, man. I'm really sorry. Back to the Denver airport. So this he's denied it. He says, I have children sleeping amid the debris of war, and this warmonger is killing the dove of peace. But the kids are dreaming of something better in the future, and their little dream goes behind the general and continues behind this group of people, and the kids are dreaming that will happen someday. So that's the rainbow. The kids are dreaming this rainbow while this general kills the dove of peace. Okay. I can see that. Now that he's explained that, I can see that. He added that his mural represents global catastrophe, bringing the nations of the world together, which did we not cover just now, or like 10 minutes ago in Operation Bluebeam? I'm pretty sure we covered that. Conspiracy theorists have seen it as a clear sign that the mural art is part of a new world order agenda in which elites wage purposeful war and chaos to soft sell a one world government. What was I saying, dude? I just said that. I wasn't just reading ahead. Yeah, we also just read. We just came together and read that the U.S. government was gonna fake a war with Cuba. So like, is it super outlandish for them to be like, all right, let's collab and create New World Order? So yeah, the gargoyles. This is another thing. Gargoyles in the airport. Like most Denver airport conspiracy theories, the murals garnered increasing attention following the proliferation of the internet. Sure, yeah. Blucifer, the murderous horse. That's another thing that Ryan mentioned. So we aren't going to touch on these gargoyles, but this mural is hardly the strangest art. Oh, okay, they're just like, whatever. The gargoyle coming out of the suitcase is strange. Maybe it's supposed to represent like the demons of the common businessman at the time. Like, what's in your suitcase? Where are you traveling? What do you got going on in there? I don't know. Let's look at Blucifer. Yeah, see, even the guy who wrote this article is like, yeah, this guy's fucking weird. It's made from lightweight fiberglass. It's 32 feet tall, and it weighs 9,000 pounds. No wonder the head killed the artist. 32 feet is like if you stacked 3 of my childhood homes on top of each other. The Blue Mustang, or simply Blucifer, has always struck onlookers. Are eerie. Okay, sure. Its glowing red eyes are disconcerting, and some believe the horse symbolizes the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. I mean, there's not 4 of them, but this guy's weird, you know? Like, again, like, there's so much about this airport that's like, why are you sticking this in an airport? Like, what else did you expect other than, like, people to talk about? Maybe it's a publicity thing. Maybe everybody wants to go to the Denver airport. Artist Louis Jimenez says that he chose the color in honor of the wild spirit of the Old West. In an unsettling twist of fate, Jimenez was killed by his own creation in a freak accident in 2006. He was struck by a falling piece of fiberglass, which severed an artery in his leg. Damn, that's brutal, man. That's fucked up. Despite the statue's dark backstory, Denver airport officials continue to poke lighthearted fun at the notion that something nefarious is occurring at the airport. Yeah, I mean, like, isn't there one of these at the Norman Art Museum? You know, I wouldn't necessarily say that this points towards conspiracy, but it's just fucking weird. This article, like, that combined with this, combined with the gargoyles, is weird, you know? But, like, this on its own is like, I don't know. Sure, it's a weird, dominating sculpture. And this is a weird suitcase. I don't know. The mural speaks the most to me here. Like, how else could you spell it out? Anyway, moving on. We've got a video about the gargoyles. Oh, let's see. We have a CEO who really embraces the conspiracy ideas. We decided a few years ago that rather than fight all of this and try to convince everybody there's nothing really going on, let's have some fun with it. That's base. That's cool. Lucifer isn't the only odd sculpture at the Denver airport. Strange gargoyles watch over the baggage areas and prankish airport officials even had an interactive talking gargoyle installed in 2019. Oh, that's sick as shit. Let's check this out. Oh, wrong screen. Let me pause my stream music real quick. Okay, back. Oh, that's wrong screen.
That's a little too close for comfort, lady.
Oh, damn.
What, you never seen a talking gargoyle before? Welcome to Illuminati headquarters. I mean, Denver International Airport.
This is awesome.
Hello? Do I know you?
Are you hungry?
Oh, I'm starving. You got anything for me? Those flowers look delicious.
Oh.
They literally turned the
Oh, it's
airport
kind of
into a tourist
conspiracy. Look at me,
attraction.
I'm a little know-it-all. Will you get back over here? I got a question about this conspiracy. Did you have to buy an extra seat for your
That
ad,
voice
sir?
actor sounds familiar.
Sir, are you stealing a desk? Sir, you have resting, confused face.
Yeah, I don't think
Do
I've
you
ever
have a
heard of it.
favorite animal or pet?
A caterpillar?
A caterpillar? Wouldn't you rather have a gargoyle?
No.
Yes. You know, you can actually put the phone down and have a conversation with me.
Damn.
I'm a millennial. I've got to post it. I've got to snap face it and Twitter book it. Excuse me, miss, I've got a stain that needs some polishing. Can I borrow your cleaning cart?
Is this like a street performer?
I-
Because it can see. I don't know. I'm gonna read more. It says it was installed, but like, I don't know. Oh yeah, let's talk about the Freemason document and the Denver airport swastika. The resemblance seems to be nothing but a terrible aesthetic accident. The old Stapleton's runways were inefficiently designed. Its parallel runways made landing in bad weather difficult. The new Denver airport's allegedly swastika-shaped runways make the airport more efficient and to enable landings in all weather. Pick a different shape. I don't know what to tell you, man. Holy shit, in this picture, like, that's not on Google Maps, it looks even more like a swastika. They aren't a precise match to the Nazi symbol, but their sheer similarity is still enough to inspire conspiracy theories. Yeah, I mean, it's not a swastika, but it's a swastika. I don't really know what else you want me to say. We have some subject matter that we wanted to either just avoid or tread very lightly with. Yeah, base. Some things are worth debunking, others aren't. Yeah, okay. He's like, this isn't even worth my time. This isn't, yeah. Sure, I guess that's how I'd respond to if I was that guy. I still wouldn't, like, somebody drew this, you know? Like, they drew this out in a plan. They were like, let's have runways here, 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 and here. Nobody was like, I don't know, man, that looks kind of sus. From an aerial point of view, it looks like a swastika. So they have a Freemason-centric time capsule. Yeah, so this is fucking weird. Set to be opened in 2094, the time capsule is covered by a dedication marker and capstone that contains Freemason symbols and mentions the New World Airport Commission. Come on, man. It allegedly holds a credit card, Colorado flag, Denver Airport opening day newspapers, and more artifacts from 1994. The strange truth of the matter is that the New World Airport Commission group does not exist, and the name bears a titular resemblance to the New World Order so feared by paranoid onlookers. However, the name, inspired by this guy, was chosen by art advocate Charles, whatever his last name is, to commemorate the airport's opening. Okay. So, the whole, like, underground thing, I hope that we get to that in this article. I hope this article covers that. But I feel like this sort of plays into it. Like, this is definitely a spot where, like, you know, if the Freemasons are going to rule the world someday, sure. They all congregate at the Denver International Airport, and they open up this thing later on. I don't know. Railroads and reptilians. Okay, cool. The airport's construction setbacks and inflated costs bring us full circle. Many believe the high cost of the airport's construction was due to the creation of underground tunnels, bunkers, and even shelters for non-human entities. So the whole reptilian shit, whatever. However, here we are. The underground tunnels. A plethora of contract disputes led to several fucking Christ, dude. People were mad about it. And so the contracts changed hands. The separation would have allowed those in charge to keep the true scope of this project a secret from all involved. Yeah, so people were mad about the working conditions. So contractors would bail out. And people think that that's to cover it all up. New video.
Every day, on their way to catch a plane at DIA, thousands of people walk over it. And they don't even know what's going on right underneath them.
I wish I did. I have no idea.
Deep down in the trenches, out of sight and mind, there is an underground city. And just like all cities, there's a freeway system. In this case, full of tugs, carts, and sometimes chaos. This is where the airlines move our luggage from plane to baggage claim. And there's no time to waste.
When they're offloaded, they go into the when they're offloaded, they go into the dump belts.
Why did they keep that in? To be funny?
Everybody's yelling and screaming, where are my bags, where are my bags? And a lot of times, you know, there's traffic. People get stuck behind other airlines.
This is one of two 7,000-foot tunnels under DIA. It is huge down here, more than 1 million square feet of space. And just over that wall, well, that's the train that you take. It reminds you of an actual freeway system. There are all kinds of signs posted and speed limits to follow.
DPD actually patrols down here, and they actually give out speeding tickets.
How much money do you think that I would have to pay to, like, take a car down there and speed through the tunnels and go like 90
And just like
miles
driving
per
the
hour?
freeway, if you get lost, well, sometimes you get really lost.
You come down here, and if you don't know where you're going, you can literally be driving around in circles for hours. Went down, took a left instead of a right, then made another left, another right, and I'm over on the Seacon.
The reason there are so many tugs and carts is because of this.
Oh!
You may remember the airport tunnels as the home of the touted super-duper state-of-the-art automated baggage system. It was used when the airport opened, but never really worked very well. And even though United used a form of it until 2008, it is abandoned now. A looming framework of neglected metal, tracks, belts, and hopes.
I think it was state of the art for its time. It simply cost too much to maintain, and it wasn't feasible to keep long term.
And then there's this, a piece of graffiti by an airport worker. Or is it a sign of strange things that exist deep under the airport? Is there a secret city down here?
Well, there's certainly a city of people working, but it's not a secret.
What about a military complex?
No military complex.
Never seen that. Have you ever seen them do psychological warfare testing?
Never seen any testing like that.
You know, a lot of people think there's an alien base.
You know, people think that. I've never seen any little green men walking around.
Under DIA, thousands of workers spend their day doing their best to get you and the planes in and out on time.
It's a pretty amazing place.
And if it...
Yeah, is there a secret city down here? As if he would fucking answer that, like, legitimately. I don't know. See, all these underground tunnels, that is suspicious, man. I'm telling you right now, as a guy who is out here on this stream to prove these theories true, the journalists know how to ask the questions. That's what they go to college for, man. Like, come on. The whole point of this stream is me trying, we're trying to believe this, okay? And, like, legitimately, it could be so fucking easy to hide anything you want down there. Human trafficking, government fucking, tests. It could be a prison. Like, it could be literally anything. It's this huge underground city that very obviously people get lost in. And if people are getting lost in it whenever this video came out, let's assume there's no Google Maps of this city, then, like, come on, you know? Like, how much more suspicious can you get? You've got the whole Freemason thing on top of it. You've got that painting and the horse and the gargoyles and the underground city. Like, it all comes together, and I legitimately think that the Denver airport is the place that the president is going to fly to whenever they do fucking Operation Bluebird or whatever the fuck it's called. And, like, this could definitely be like an underground bunker for people. That's all I'm saying, man. Yet again, lacking sufficient proof, the theory appears to have originated from contractors who worked at the site in the 1990s and saw mysterious tunnels and entrances. Officially, these tunnels were merely part of the failed underground baggage system. Today, around 1,000 people work in various underground levels on a daily basis, ferrying luggage from ticket counters to baggage claim areas. Yeah, and these people are all set on packs. And surely the super advanced people in charge are like, alright, good cover-up story, they're transporting luggage, and they're going to be traveling from path A to B, but they might take a wrong turn and travel from path A to path C on accident. But let's just, like, organize this so that it most likely will lead them either back to path A, where that started, or to path B, and then have, like, secret shit on the sides that they have, like, a 0% chance of getting to. These were yet again jokes, blah, 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 blah. In the 470,000 square foot underground space. 470,000 square feet. You could hide anything down there. Is this music too loud? I apologize. If you excuse me. I'm excusing you. You may leave whenever you wish, Ronaldo. I'll be watching Matt Pat's videos on Rick and Morty. Those are good videos, man. Have a good night, Ronaldo. I'll see you later. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, we're gonna do one more theory, and then we're probably gonna call it good ourselves. Because, let's see, what time is it? Like, 7? I love you. I love you too. Have a good night. Okay, so we're gonna look. I really only have a couple more that, like, I think are is, like, worth looking into, having not looked into it before. And one of those being Monsanto. This I genuinely, like, didn't hear about. He just said the words government and Monsanto company So, and agriculture, yeah, I know that. So we're gonna go Monsanto conspiracy. ThoseConspiracyGuys.com. This might be my site. You guys can't see this, but I have like 40 tabs open. I very intentionally did not allow my tabs to be seen. Okay, so let's see. Oh, this is a podcast. Fuck. This is a 5.5 hour long podcast. Okay, well, let's see. We turn the true fuel of the masses for the global debate with implications of the very future health of humanity. The topic of genetically modified organisms, GMOs, has become the dominant talking path. At the very heart of that industry and at the heart of the genetically modified seeds is one company. Monsanto has become synonymous with the very caricature of an evil corporation. Across protesting activists, environmental campaigners, and conspiracy theorists, the opinion on Monsanto appears to have reached a consensus. So this is like the company that makes GMOs, I guess. Much like other industries, the harsh modernization and cutting-edge technologies of farming and agriculture have led to a cultural backlash, and its historical legacy of Monsanto. It's the historical legacy of Monsanto that it's only added fuel to the fire. So for decades under lucrative government contracts, their industrial chemicals powered the U.S. war machine, and with development of powerfully toxic herbicides, and their contaminating legacy has left a path of destruction across the world. Through the sharp corporate practices that are the hallmark of the big oil industry, their influence, like their products and standardized techniques, are woven into our environment. We cover the disasters, scandals, and lawsuits surrounding the chemical side of the Monsanto brand that cemented their place among other global polluters. Holy shit, wait. So they were a chemical manufacturer turned GMO provider. Future food. In the modern era, the perception of Monsanto has turned from an enemy. Synonymous. Hello, sir. Nottingham Town. Totally not off topic, but the art exhibit that I went to in Las Vegas, called like Meow Wolf Vegas, is talks about like this thing. It's like, yeah, it's Omega Mart. And it was really interesting because what Omega Mart like explored was like future food and what happens if like those companies basically go unchecked. So you enter this exhibit and you walk into a supermarket and there's like food and shit on the shelves. It's all very commercialized. It's all very dystopian, but it's still like it's very grounded. And then the further you go into the back, like you can walk into like the coolers and shit. Like you see like the food sort of warping and like growing fingers and shit. Because the GMOs have, I wish that you could like see. Check out this video. This might show you. Lexi's home. I'm gonna close this. Okay. Full screen. Works very well. So yeah, you watch. Okay. Oh, there was a slide. So you go into the supermarket, and this is exactly what I did. You like go into this cooler, and the sodas warp, and then you enter this other world, which is super cool. This is like where I took all the pictures and stuff. It kind of looks like Factory Obscura, and you like kind of uncover this mystery. You can like go through the computers and like read their documents and stuff about how corrupt and evil this organization is. that makes this food. You can actually buy anything in the store as well, which is super sick. But yeah, a little off topic. It just like the whole Omega Mart superfood thing turned like soul sealing corrupt company that you sacrifice your god for the new your body for the new world order to, just kind of reminded me of this. Okay, so anyway, in the modern era, the perception of Monsanto has turned from the enemy of the environment to an enemy of the people. Their most recent move into the area of genetic modification, blah, 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 blah. Their control and collusion across so many public industries, private companies, and world governments has led to an unrivaled place for Monsanto into the conspiracy pantheon. We'll discuss the facts and theories around the truth. Yeah, I might listen to this podcast in my own time, honestly. But yeah, what's really interesting about this is like, even like something that I've just discussed in real life with people. Oop, sorry. I forgot that I have hot corners turned on. Like even the stuff that gluten allergies, Jesus Christ is what I'm trying to say. Gluten allergies are very much to like a consequence of the manufactured, like GMO stuff, like the stuff that they put in plants and the stuff that they put in your food eventually has like generated a lot of different food like allergies. Like humans were never supposed to consume dairy, so it's always going to irritate your stomach, but this food sort of like breaks down certain enzymes in you and makes you more susceptible to things like gluten allergies, dairy allergies. My brother has a soy allergy. And it can all pretty much be brought back to like the chemicals and shit that they put in your food. Like I'll go back to Safari for this because this should be like a pretty easy search. Like, do gluten allergies come from GMOs? That let's see. The truth is that GMO wheat can't possibly be blamed for the hikes in celiac disease and gluten. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Hybridized wheat may be to blame. I think that the consensus is that like it's not actually like specifically the GMOs, but the very advanced breeding that we're doing to these plants is like very unnatural and like not good for your body. We're not watching a video anymore. Some people are designed to take dairy. That's why we have lactase persistence. Are people like is that a thing? Lactase persistence being like a resistance to dairy. I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna look up what that is because I've never heard of that. Yeah, I spelled that wrong on purpose. The ability of adults to digest and lactose in milk. Ah, that's sick as shit. I wish I had that. I totally don't. So some of us have like evolved to literally just be able to big dick it and consume lactose. That's really interesting. I like that. Actually, I'm gonna say that I have this to my mom so that she stops telling me that. Those who are lactase persistent produce lactase, which is an enzyme that has the ability to break down lactose to glucose and galactose. Why do you know so much about this, Keaton? What? Is this like it's a hobby of yours to look into food digestion? That's really interesting. But you guys, I'm literally a biologist. It's my major. I forget that. I forgot that that's what you're going to school for. If I were lactose intolerant, I would simply force my cells to produce lactase. Why can't we just take like lactase pills? Is that what lactate is? It's as simple as that. Like, why can't we? Yeah, why can't we just like get it? Why can't we acquire lactase? Kind of. That's what lactate is, to be frank. Is that what TBF means? To be frank. Interesting. Okay. So if you take like a lactate pill, then you can drink milk, and because it produces that enzyme in your body. Cool. Thanks, Nottingham Town, for the interesting conversation about dairy. It's just those enzymes don't continue to be produced. So you produce them as a small child, and you end up, that production slows down over time because you're not sucking on your mom's titty anymore, and you should not be drinking milk. Is that what I'm gathering from this? Most of the time, yes. Yeah, but then in some cases, people just keep that. They keep that perk of being a small child. That's why, as I age, I can drink less milk. Cool. Fun facts on the stream today. It's genetic. So I should not breed with a woman who is lactose intolerant, because then my children will suffer the same fate. Noted. I'm going to close things off, though. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. It was an interesting one. I enjoyed looking into government conspiracies and having some onlookers, some people who popped in. Thank you, Nottingham Town, for... lactose intolerance is a ploy by Big Pharma before they made people allergic to milk. People used to drink milk right from the cow's udder like God intended. Peace out, Rock. Love you, Rocker. Thanks for the stream. Big Pharma. We'll touch on that later, too. I'm going to look at all these. I'm going to compile them into a future conspiracy stream where I will be presenting all of this in a much more digestible way for the masses. I plan on cutting that down and sort of editing it into a YouTube video / TikTok type thing. So definitely, if you're interested in any of that stuff, I will be presenting it in a much more entertaining way later on down the line. So pop in for that. But for this one, I did enjoy just the casual Googling, touring, and reading of articles. If you're not a follower, at 50 followers, he's gonna stream Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, man, follow if you want. If you don't want to, that's fine. But it seems like you're interested in this kind of stuff, and I will be doing more of it in the future and hopefully getting better at it. We need your contribution. Yeah, so have a good night, everybody. God bless you all, and I will be back tomorrow from noon to 4 playing Pokemon White. The people are relying. Stop pressuring them. Sweet